Tonka Latte, no matter how things have changed, the human heart will beat for warmth and love, such as have been expressed in its poetry. I was going to attempt to make a video on a fragrance that just arrived, but this one is just getting in the way permanently. Say hello, Tiger Lily. Plus you've got the noise of the pond over there, so I'm hoping we can get through it. It's very off the cuff and impromptu, but quite excited about this one that just arrived today. Not really an unboxing. I've taken the plastic wrap off, which probably is a good thing for some people because they hate that noise. I don't really mind. But let's just dive in to what I bought from Les Centaurs. So I've purchased a fragrance from Dusita. Dusita launched a fragrance in April, and I heard about it, I think maybe February. We started to hear about it on Instagram. As soon as I saw the title of this fragrance, I just thought, oh, because it is the new one called Tonka Latte. I've also sent a couple of samples from Les Centaurs. The two samples I opted for, though you don't get much choice really. There's one here called Totally White from Parfums. I don't know how to pronounce it. Parfums, let's say. And Frederic Malle, we have Cologne Indelible. This one instantly made me think, oh, that's the peacock, ignore him. Almost identical to something that I've tried before. Took me a while to get it, and I suddenly remembered what it was. It was a Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. It's almost identical to that scent. Really, really nice though. As soon as I smelt this one, not knowing anything about it, it instantly took me back to my sister and her dressing table, and I thought, what perfume would she have had back in the 90s that smelled like this? I have no idea. Really, really pretty. Looking up the notes of this, I thought I'd find all white florals. You know, the name's giving that impression. And I found 3 notes on Fragrantica, which are wisteria, hawthorn, and another note I don't recognise. What's interesting is that I was only recently discussing certain materials that we just don't see much in perfume, 2 of which happen to be in this fragrance. So we were talking about wisteria and hawthorn. So it was a real coincidence that we've, you know, it's been covered. You know, our fragrances with wisteria, covered, then our fragrances with hawthorn, covered. This is a really, really pretty scent. So I'm looking forward to wearing this properly and, you know, getting more use out of it, seeing what I think of it. So far so good though, but we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about this one. This is the main event. This is one I'm really excited about. So as soon as I saw fragrance being launched by a Dusita called Tonka Latte, I just had a feeling about it. Oh, my box is about to be blown away. Not just because it's potentially obviously a Tonka focused fragrance that could be very pale and very creamy and very soft, but because it's from Dusita, and Dusita are very niche, very artistic, and they just make good fragrance. They make beautiful fragrances that are not like anything else. They always have this sort of organic charm to them, a little bit of edge, and it's just something special about Dusita. So I figured, how would they interpret, or how would they go about making something that looks very gourmand, very mass appealing? I was really interested to just open up the box. I'm one-handed with no tripod because this is off the cuff, like I say, and it's just all impromptu. Hang on. Essentially, it's definitely too windy for this. I'm going to lose something in a minute. Okay. So here we have Tonka Latte, and I got myself the 100ml. I've got a fragrance friend in crime over on Instagram, name of Yulia, from My Scent Appeal. We seem to have similar tastes, which is kind of dangerous at this point because we both influenced each other. We were both interested in trying this scent, and she managed to get hold of a decant of it, which was fantastic, and she sent some to me. Leaving off and just throw caution to the wind and blind buy things, I just didn't want to do that with this one. Turns out I could have done. See if I can remember the notes, because it'll be a rare thing, and I actually looked at them before I started filming, so there's really no excuse. The top, I think there's white chocolate, milk, almond. Mid notes, there's some honey in there, there's caramel. All the notes you could just jumble up and just throw them wherever you want, because they all have a very similar way about them, and they're more the sort of notes you'd probably see in the mid or the base. Definitely musk and vanilla, and another note in the base. So this fragrance is true of its parts. Those notes do give you an indication of what this is going to smell like, but it's not heavy, and it's not sickly, and it's not overbearing, and it's not overly lactonic, and that I like that. I couldn't wear a scent that was, to be honest. But what does it smell like? It's soft, it's tranquil, it's a calming gourmand. So the initial spray for me opens with a focused tonka, caramel, and probably the honey, which could be really strong and heavy, but it just isn't. It's actually pretty. There's something pretty about the opening, and I feel like there should be some sort of floral mentioned in the opening. It's a flower called Nemesis, particularly the one that smells of vanilla. And it's interesting, I think there's a phenomenon with things that happen in pairs. When you do something, you'll see it doubled up somehow. Because I only recently went to the garden centre and bought this exact plant. And then it turns out this is exactly what it reminds me of. Like a bright floral vanilla that has maybe woody facets. Just sidestepping quickly because it seems a crime not to really show you the plant, seeing as it's actually sitting behind me. This is the Nemesis. No, Nemesesia. I got everything wrong, don't I? This particular one is called the Wisley Vanilla, and it really does remind me of the opening of Tonka Latte. It's a really pretty flower. and it really does smell like like vanilla, only flowery and a little bit green. So just interesting, I think. But that's just the initial spray. I really do feel that honey, and I really feel that white chocolate moving in. And honestly, I feel all the notes moving in. They all come together quite quickly. And it becomes just this beautiful expression of all those materials, all those notes, but done so subtly and so expertly blended. Nothing is poking out. Nothing is dominating. I feel like it's like this beautiful, swirling, creamy, moving fragrance. Depending on which note you focus on, that's the scent you're going to smell. A good fragrance is one that is subtle and interesting and not still, moving and showing the qualities it's got without them being fired in your face and up your nose and being offensive. The way the composition's been put together is definitely up my street. It's very beautiful, it's very subtle, but the choice of notes are also incredibly satisfying. Very easily falls into a category of fragrance that I find myself always craving, always reaching for, and just easily blending with. Ones like Irish Dragé, even Eau de Toilette from Diptyque. I find myself wearing a lot of that kind of fragrance at the moment, because they're subtle, they're interesting, but they do dry down to a very lovely vanilla. There's just different pretty and subtle ways of getting there. I find the tonka is the most consistent note throughout this. I'm aware of it, but it's so smooth and blended, and when you think about that, you start thinking about the honey. The honey brings this lovely golden sweetness, which it's not heavy and it's not animalic, because you've got the white chocolate, which is laced within it, and it's the most beautifully rounded, creamy, addictive sweetness. It really feels like a lovely semi-sweet latte with a delicate flavour of tonka. The vanilla and the caramel really provide the base for this one. Even though caramel I think is in the top note, it's providing a base. I feel like I'm very aware of the caramel, and it brings a sort of almost drier quality. Yeah, dry quality along with the honey. They both have that sort of drier sweetness. And with the vanilla, you've got this consistent, creamy, sweet base. But it's not boring, not for me. It's not a boring scent. There's a bit of edge here. There's a bit of something. And I don't want to compare it to a scent that most people dislike or have problems with, but those of you that have smelt Vanilla Sex from Tom Ford, that was a bit of a miss for me, that one. I was excited for it. But it smelt so medicinal and bitter and heavy and unpleasant and almost a little bit pissy. Now, there is a hint of Vanilla Sex in this. A hint. Just a hint. You might find people have compared it to Vanilla Sex on Fragrantica. It's more that they're getting a hint of it in this, and I honestly feel like it works, because bringing that Dusita interest, that little reminder that Dusita aren't here to play around and be mass appealing. You need a bit of an artistic edge to make you think outside the box and sort of broaden the mind a little bit, and just thought-provoking, just something different. And if a touch of Vanilla Sex in here is going to do that, then so be it. It works. It really works. This is what Vanilla Sex wished it could be. But it's not a loud fragrance. I only speak for my own taste and my own needs, obviously, but I think this is how you do it. And this is a beautiful, subtle, but interesting interpretation of a Tonka Latte. And as with all Dusita creations, the vision is given through fragrance. There's always going to be an image accompanying them, and also a beautiful little poem, which is just a nice touch, I think. So the brand do offer samples, so I hope you get to try it and get hold of a sample. This is a scent I think I will overspray. It's so beautiful. I want to get as much out of it as I can when I wear it. It's delicious, it's pretty, it's elegant, it's kind of delicate while having that edge, but it is a beautiful interpretation of a Tonka Latte, and it's doing it for me. I think that's all I've got to say on it. If I think of anything else, I shall probably write it on the screen. So thanks for watching as always, and I shall see you on the next one. Over and out.